Hi everybody. Welcome to my sewing room. It's Angela. Welcome to 1/4 inch seam. We have so much, oh my gosh, we have so much to dish about. It's been a minute. It's been just a couple days. So I got a lot to tell you. Last week was crazy. So here's what we're doing today. I have the wall hanging, the heart wall hanging, and I'm binding it. Now, I started binding it yesterday. Mind you, it's only about 24 inches square. But I haven't bound something in so long that I've totally forgotten. Like I've already taken this out multiple times. So we're gonna try and get it finished, bound. And I did quilt it. I quilted it. And I'm gonna show you what I did with that. Because I also haven't actually quilted something in a while. And there were all these things that I forgot that came back to me. So we're going to bind this up. We're going to, hopefully this will be finished so I could put it up somewhere. I'm going to show you a quilt that I'm giving away. I hope it's in here somewhere. If not, I'll do another video on it. And then, be sure to stay to the end because I have a really fun little announcement about something else that's coming out. Okay, what else? That's it for right now. That's what we're going to do today. Okay, you ready? So I was using so I had this little heart, this tiny little hearts. You know, it's just red with little white hearts. It's nothing exciting, okay? It was cheap. It's going to do the trick. So I did 2.5 inch strips, folded in half, ironed. But initially I forgot to sew the strips together. And then I got one strip on and I was like, duh, it's supposed to be one long strip. So I had to go back, sew all the strips. This is just memory. And why I just wanted to get it done. I wanted to get it on and get it done. And so I was like, oh my gosh, it's like you've never sewn before. And that's how it felt. And I just bit my tongue. So I went back, I sewed the strips together, and I watched a tutorial last night from somebody else on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. And I was like, let's chat and sew. Get out your stuff. Get your stuff out. Are you sewing? What are you working on? You know, it's almost Valentine's Day. I mean, you only have like 3 weeks. Got to get you something up. A wall hanging, placemats. I'm going to try and do some cute placemats. I thought that might be fun. We'll see. So anyway, I'm so glad you're here. But get your stuff out. Sew while we talk. Or pull up a chair and we'll just chat. So, stupid presser foot. So I watched this tutorial of this woman, and I'm gonna have to go back and find it and see if I can pull up her name or her channel, and I'll give it to you guys next week because I really like a lot of her stuff and a lot of her style because, hello Angela, God, she's not paying attention, even though I'm looking right at it. Anyway, a lot of her stuff and like some of her solutions, you know how when you learn to bind and everybody's like, you have to sew the strips on the diagonal. They have to be sewn on the diagonal. That's the only way you can do it. And when you get to the end, you have to, again, you know, leave your tails and sew your tails at the diagonal and then cut them. Can I just tell you how many times I've screwed that up? Yes, I've bought the ruler to help. I've watched the videos to help. And I still, like, I don't know, like, I get it. I mean, I get to the solution. Like, I end up getting it right. But it's like start and stops, trial and error. It's just frustrating. So she's got a different method, and really it worked just as well. And yes, it laid down flat. No, it wasn't all bulky. And she also puts her binding on a little bit differently, but I'm trying to remember. So I'm like a 1/4 inch from the end now. Oh my God. It has been so cold. We didn't get snow. So we did not get snow. We live too far down and I think too close. Well, I don't know, because some of the beach areas got snow. So I don't know, but we didn't get snow. But it got cold enough, I'll tell you that. Holy cow. And all week, it not only was it cold, like at night, like freezing cold at night, we have some plants that we're still waiting for the plants to warm themselves back up after we took all the wrapping and stuff off. But like even during the day, it was just so cold. And everything has been dry. So now I keep getting like sinus headaches. My skin is so dry, my throat is so dry. I'm just full of wonderful good news today, aren't I? Okay, now let me just think this out really quick. So what she did was, I think she cut it here. I think you have to cut it at the corner. I don't see how people are leaving it on. Okay, so then she turned it up. And then she turned it down. Although, oh, I know what she did. She did sew. This one girl, here's what I figured. Because I have so many other quilt things like in the works, I figured that on this one, if I kind of experimented a little bit, it would kind of be okay. I know what she did. Okay. This one girl I watched, she sewed down to the end, you know, to almost the end. All right, so let's do that. Right, and then she got just about there, and she lifted her presser foot, and she sewed off the edge to the angle. She sewed off the point, you know what I mean? Okay, so she sewed that. Okay, now, all this for a miter corner. Holy moly. Okay, so then, this is always what usually takes me like an hour. And why today my brain has just like got it, I have no idea. Because usually my brain doesn't get it. At least not quick. I was trying to find a little tiny ruler. Oh, I do. There it is. I don't know what possessed me to buy this. It's a 2.5 inch ruler. I mean, it is kind of handy, right? But it's great if you have stuff that you it's great if you have stuff like this where you need to make like a little fold and you want something to kind of put in there to keep it, you know, nice and straight. Okay, so folded it to the right. Now folding it back down. And then she just like slid her ruler out. So it's kind of, you know, there we go. Okay, now back on the machine. Foot down. Okay, let's go. Okay. Now we're sewing again. Now I'm sitting on this stupid thing. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, this week. So it was freezing cold, sinuses, what else? Inauguration, new president. And all that kind of stuff. Busy at work, as always, trying to get tax stuff started. I would rather put my face under this needle and sew my lips shut than have to do tax stuff. Seriously. It is one of the few areas of argument and contention that Steve and I deal with, is the tax stuff, and it's just stressful, and I hate it. But we have a new tax lady this year, and I really, really like her. So, hi Millie. I don't think Millie's on here, but I like her. I think she's gonna be good. So we'll see. So I've still just there's just a lot of paperwork and stuff. The only thing, and I don't know if you are like me, but the only thing that's keeping me going is that my lines are not straight, is that I know now that in a matter of a few weeks, I can put all the paperwork and stuff, I can just file it, stick it in a file box, slap the year on there and be done, you know, and just move on to the next project. That's what I'm looking forward to. I just hate doing it. I hate doing it. Hate it. Anyway. And I read some books. I've been plowing along, guys. Okay, so the last time I was with you guys, I was reading, let's see. I did Family Next Door, Sally Hepworth. Then I've read James Patterson, A Time to Kill. Time to Kill? I read James Patterson book. I remember, I told you guys. I read James Patterson book. It was okay. Then I read The Night He Left Us. Unbelievable. Actually, I may have read The Night He Left Us. And I can already tell you I have a little bit of a problem because I don't think it caught part of my... It's probably when I... I sounded to the quilt. Oh my god. Okay, so now I've really done it. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It really is fine. I don't like that little stitch there that you can see, but that's okay. Okay, the only thing I have to do though is I'm gonna have to take that little tiny nippy part there off where I kind of sewed it in there, because I got really too close here. I got too close to the edge, and I didn't catch part of the binding. So but that was when I closed my eyes, and it's hard to sew when your eyes are closed. So, and it wasn't straight anyway. Okay. See, now it's caught. They'll never. Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? I'll never know. Now it's all Oh my holy cow! It's still part of it's not caught in there. What's happening? Okay, one more time. Thank God you're not going to see this on the back. Okay. But seriously, this is the last time now, okay? So, let's everybody get together. Get yourselves in there. Here's the only problem with what I've just done, is that it's not gonna, it's gonna be a little bit wonky. Okay, I finally got it. Okay, I got it now. It's just gonna be a little wonky when you go back around. I mean, when you flip it, it's gonna feel a little bit wonky. Okay, so now what I think I'm gonna do, I'm not starting in a corner, I can tell you that right now, is I'm gonna start flipping it over, and no, I'm not gonna pin it because I wanted to come over and sew with you today. I didn't necessarily want to spend all day pinning. And again, no one's really ever going to see the back of this thing. God willing. But it's really a cute little, with the little hearts. And you know what's really cute is the side where the hearts are upside down. God. Like when they fly the flag upside down. Please. Please. All right. So I'm just going to, okay. I'm just going to sew, like, stitch in a ditch. Oh, I can't believe I remember what that was called. I think last time I called it digging a ditch. Stitch in a ditch. I'm just going to sew, not really stitch in a ditch, but I'm just going to sew really as close to the edge as I can. But not crazy. Not like a master quilter would sew close to the edge, because I do want it to hold. So let's just see where this is at. This is the other point. People keep asking me about my machine. So I have the Baby Lock Crescendo, which I am totally and desperately in love with. And it's got one of the reasons, and the woman who sold us the machine kept talking about the laser. And I was like, okay, I don't know that I really care about the laser. Like, I don't really see that that's that big of a deal to me. But it really is helpful, especially in situations like this when you're sewing like a binding or something on, and it just helps you to see exactly where you're going to go. It's only like 3 inches. It's a little 3-inch laser that kind of shines down. But it's amazing how you'd swear that you were sewing straight, and then you turn that laser on and you're like, oh, that's not even it wouldn't even catch. So I find the laser part, I really, really do find it very, very quite helpful. Well, here's the problem. I don't hand stitch. I do not hand stitch. So what ends up happening is I'm having a bit of an idea though. Uh-oh. Hold on. Something's getting folded in here. It's not supposed to. Okay. But maybe I have an idea. You know, it was kind of obvious where the stitch was, but something just dawned on me. If I keep the presser foot, if I keep the right edge of the presser foot, and I sew there, will it keep it closer to it? On the other side. That doesn't make any sense. Talk about word salad. No, that's still too much. Now it's on there. I don't like that either. That's the only thing, is that there's not really a way. Like I said, I don't hand sew. So I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to try and sew as close to the edge. I'm really kind of treating this project, because I'm sure some of you are like, this girl has completely lost her marbles. And while I have probably lost my marbles, it really doesn't have anything to do with this quilt. Because I don't feel like a big emotional connection to this quilt, I mean, it's very cute, and it's a cute heart, and I'm going to hang it up for Valentine's Day. I just figured that it was, you know, prior to all of you guys coming over and sitting with me while I sew, the last year, because I haven't had a whole lot of time to sew, like I come in here on a Sunday and I sew for 10 minutes and then I have to get up and go do something else, or I have to go back to work or whatever. It's just been a weird year. Then I met all of you guys and you were like, hey, we'll sit and talk to you while you sew. And now I'm doing more than just sewing like one quilt block, right? Like I would start a project and then I would, you know, you've seen all my projects that have been started. They're not even 5% of the way done. And so with this one, I was like, okay, we're actually gonna, with some of these projects that I'm working on right now with you guys, we're kind of taking we're doing the whole thing. and with the basting and the sandwiching, and you think we was making a turkey. You know, the binding, all of that stuff. That a little bit of this is kind of like reacclimating myself to some of this stuff, because some of it I just haven't done in a long time. Okay, so now we're at the miter corner. Lift my foot up because I can't see what in the world I'm doing. Okay, all right. And here's the other thing. I don't have tiny hands, okay? I have pretty good sized hands. Oh yeah, so people are like, oh yeah, use that. And so when I start getting my fingers here, I run out of room. But this is very handy. And yeah, I probably could have shaved a little bit out of there. But it's gonna miter. It won't be perfect. It's okay. Okay, now, that up. We're just going to sew a little bit at the edge. Oh, God. Please work. Okay, now, I'm just going to go back a little bit. Okay. Now, put up. Let's turn this bad boy. Do you guys have a few more minutes? I just want to sew for a few more minutes. I really just want to finish this binding. Okay. Okay. Angela, stop saying okay. Okay. And now back down the side. Okay. And again, I think I'm just going to try, and I think the only thing that makes sense that's going to be, you know, that's going to kind of work through the whole quilt is just to stay as close to the edge as possible. I don't think my other idea was really feasible. So how was your week? I know it's just been weird with the weather and, you know, the inauguration, the weather. Oops. Hello. Hello. Sloppy. I'm probably going to take that one little area out because that's where I was trying to see if I could catch it closer or something like that. I don't know. And now it rode up onto the actual binding, and I really don't like that. So we're just going to stay as close to the edge as possible. You know, you kind of lose it in the, which I guess is part of the point when you do this, when you machine sew your binding on both sides. And the reason, like I said, I don't hand sew. I just have never, even when I try, it's just, and I don't practice it, I don't practice it, and so it's just not a skill that is there. And my stuff looks awful. You should see. I tell you what, if I can't fix my husband's, like, you know, if he needs a pair of pants fixed or something, if it can't be fixed on the machine, God. I've done buttons and things for him that just look awful. Thank God they're in places that nobody will see. I fixed he had a pair of pants, these Dockers that he really liked. Well, they were too short. They shrunk. They shrunk and then they were too short. And so I said, oh, you know what I'll do? He said, can't you just make them shorts? And I said, of course I could do that. I could make them shorts. That would be perfect. Then you could still have your, you know, because the fabric was really cool fabric and blah, blah, blah. Well, so I cut them. It took me easily like a month to get up the, you know, gumption to do this project. So I cut them. I have to fold the corner before I stitch. Okay. So I cut them, and then trying to figure out how to, do the cuff or whatever. So I sewed them and I cuffed them. Kind of more the way that you would cuff and sew a pair of girls' shorts. Thank God he only wore them in the yard or whatever to do stuff around the house. So then my mom came down from California and I was going to do another pair. And so I started folding it to sew the same way. And my mom said, "Are you serious? What are you doing? You can't have your husband wear these shorts if you're going to go that way. They are going to look dorky." And so I went back and looked at the first pair, and yes, indeed, they do look dorky. So thank God he only wears them. But he got to keep his favorite. He likes the fabric. And don't judge me and my short making abilities. All right. We're running a little bit askance here on this corner because I don't know why. It just doesn't seem to be mitering up very well. So we're just going to... It's just not folding right. Ah, I know what the problem is. I think there's too much fabric in here. Yeah. Okay. It's just too bulky in there. All right. So we're just going to... Ouch! God, that was my nail. These, Horn of America. I'm not bleeding, but I cut my fingernail. I told you. It really is quite shocking that I have made it as long as I have. Okay, now, gosh, it's just really not wanting to. All right, we're gonna open this up a little bit because I can't see what's happening in there. Okay. So tell me, what are you working on? Huh? Have you been sewing stuff? Are you going to do a blanket to give away? Did you see my shorts about that? I think that that's going to be fun. And it's, it's kind of pushing me to get some more stuff done. Okay, there's the problem. There's just way too much stuff in this corner. Holy cow. Okay, way too much. Way too much. Let's just trim out a little bit of this. It's just too bulky in this corner. And so it just wasn't folding over. Okay, now let's see. Better. Not perfect, but better. At least it will fold. And I also think part of it is how I did this one. Like I said, I was kind of experimenting because I saw a couple of different videos last night. And so I thought, well, we'll try it. We'll see. We'll see. I think I'm just going to throw a couple of stitches right in there. And again, see? Like having that laser, when you're doing like a mitered corner like this, like I can see literally straight down that miter. It's pretty amazing. Okay, now lift that up. I'm just going to lift it up so that I don't have to do this whole darn thing. Yeah, this corner's a little bit. It's not going to be my favorite, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Ouch. It caught it all. So there we go. Like I said, this is kind of like I'm using this as kind of, because I just haven't done this in a while. This It's just kind of reacclimating me with all this stuff that I just have not done in a while. So it's been good in that regard, and I know that this video is a little bit longer. So I'm glad you stayed. Oh, somebody was asking me something the other day, and I don't remember if I answered it or not. I'd have to go back through the questions. But yes, my mom still lives in Southern California, and no, she's nowhere near the actual fires. My aunt was kind of closer to the fires. My aunt lives she lives near Pasadena, which was near the Altadena fire. Eaton Canyon. Altadena, Eaton Canyon, Pasadena. If you know the Rose Bowl, the Rose Parade, that's that whole canyon mountain area, and it's a beautiful area and very prone to the Santa Ana winds and wildfires. So when I was growing up, that was where I lived, in not far from there. We lived at the base of the kind of down from the San Gabriel Mountains, but more kind of in town, less of that kind of dry brush. But Santa Ana winds, it's just what we grew up with. They're unbelievable. They're hot and dry usually, and they just pack quite the punch. And when they get going, and because California has so much of that fuel in terms of dry brush and forestry management stuff that hasn't been done in years. So when trees fall and leaves fall and all that stuff just accumulates on the ground under all these trees, and then a fire comes through, like, hello, that's what happens. And anyway, so, but no, my family is all safe, and no one was really close enough to be overly affected. So I really didn't want to lift that up, but that's okay. Okay, let's just see. Okay, look. Oh my gosh. This corner, flip, mitered. Folded right over. You little... But again, remember when I talked about how like some of my areas were not super, they weren't all, not everything kind of sewn on in the same, again, I didn't pin or clip anything. So some of where the binding attached wasn't the same distance from the raw edge. Well, oh my God, I'm not gonna believe it. I'm almost done binding it. Okay, if you guys just hang on, I won't talk so much. I'll just sew. Angela, just sew. And we'll finish it. And I can hold it up for you. Okay? Ha ha ha. Do you know how long I've been staring at this quilt on my wall? Oh my gosh. Holy cow. I can't believe I'm finishing it. Oh my God, it just looks so wonky. The quilting was bad, but here's the funny thing. So the quilting itself is just all over the place. Oh my gosh, like the back of the quilt is like, I've crossed over it in certain places, and it wasn't until the very last, like bottom third of the quilt that I kind of like got my groove. So there's stuff just crossed over, but the quilting pattern, the quilting stitch I used, oh my gosh, it's little hearts. See, like this is one where like I wish, like I should go back and do it over. You know, I should go back and do it over now that I feel like I kind of have my groove back on some of this stuff. Because some of these techniques, if you're not, you gotta practice. You gotta practice some of this stuff, because if you don't, wow. Oh my God, the last corner! Because even though I have finished other quilts with you guys, I still haven't like finished quilting them. I've only sewn the tops. I haven't finished quilting them, and I haven't done the binding and everything. So, oh, and you want to know what else I did? I didn't base this thing when I put it together. I just sandwiched the stuff together. I did. I put all 3 layers together, and then I just put some clips on it. Come on, come on. I just put some I just put some clips on it and started quilting. So this stuff was sliding all over the place. Oh my gosh. It's done! She's bound and everything. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's so adorable. Even with the upside down quilts and even where I sewed up the binding. Look at what I did. Because I was not paying attention. And I think that's where I closed my eyes on the binding. Okay, guess what? This one I'm gonna hang up in the house. I'll show you guys pictures of where I hang it. I hope you have a fantastic, fantastic week, because I'm going to now, because I finished this terribly ridiculous. The quilting is all over the place, but I think it came out adorable enough that I'm going to hang it in my house. So I love you guys. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. If you know somebody else who wants to come and sit with us on Sunday afternoon and just shoot the crap, talk about the week, and maybe sew a wall hanging quilt, then share the video out and tell them to come join us on Sunday afternoon or on Wednesdays or during the week. We'll put some shorts up, and there's a special video coming out because there's a new addition to the sewing room, and it's been here this whole time that we've been here, but there's a special video about it because Steve did something really, really sweet. So with that, I love you guys. Remember, only a 1/4 inch seam. Have a fantastic week. I love you.